What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. As you can see, I can't really hide what we will be doing today. We have RBP stealth running boards. I have actually installed a set of these on one of the Jeeps that we worked on here at the shop, and Ryan actually has a set for his Ram. Each set of boards has 4 motors, so that's 2 motors per side, a weight rating of over 600 pounds. They are IP68 rated, they have standard LED lighting, and all of the assembly, the motors, everything is vehicle specific, so there's no need to, trim to the length of your cab. They're made for your specific installing purpose. So there are a ton of features to go over, but first let's pull the Jeep around, get these things unboxed, and show you guys everything that comes inside the box. First of all, I want to say that the packaging on these is absolutely killer. You guys can see we have the corner protection here, and these things are sturdy, so for all the corners, the outside of the box, when you get to the inside of the box, you can see you have your 2 running boards either side, 3 boxes here that'll contain your motors and hardware, and then right here on the edge, this is your installation guide and other information. So big props to RBP for the way this is packaged, because it is nice. I was not concerned at all that these were going to be damaged in any way when I opened this box. And like I was saying, each running board is made with, oh look at that, you get a nice koozie, and there's a lanyard with a nice pin on there, like that, say that. But again, each set of these stealth running boards is specifically made for your application, whether you have a Jeep or a Ford, a Dodge. You can see them just barely on Ryan's truck right here. They tuck up real nice on the Dodges. But obviously we have the JL, so that is what we will be installing today. So you get nice instructions, color instructions. This is actually a pretty big deal. I don't know how many times I've gotten instructions with a kit or something that I didn't really completely understand, or something new part or something like that, and it came with black and white pictures and you could barely tell in the grayscale what is what. So having colored pictures is actually a very, very big help. So what do you say we start ripping these boxes open here and start installing these power running boards? I already opened the first box and you can see bubble wrap everything. So these are going to be 2 of the motors. Here's one. Here's the second one. And here I thought people got rid of bubble wrap. Box number 2, you have your wiring harness, which is complete, no splicing needed. It's literally, this is all you need for your wiring. Here is the actual module you'll be plugging into, some hardware, zip ties, and these are going to be some spacers for some of the motor mounts. So that means in box number 3 are your other 2 motors. The cool thing about these brackets are they are actually all motors. They all have their own individual motors. So you have 4 motors for your 2 step boards, so 2 per side. Before everybody hits me up in the comments as Ben, I'm one that runs my Jeep through the mud, through the water, all that kind of stuff. That's fine. These will work perfectly fine because they're IP68 rated. So you can submerge them into 3 feet of water and they will still work. And because these are watertight, you will have no problem if you are in a winter state like Ohio. No problem having salt or any kind of water getting in here during the winter time. So these are going to work perfectly in all conditions. And before we start installing the motors, we have to remove the rock rail because we have to use the mounts that the rock rail uses. Well, damn. Looks like I added some height to the Jeep. Free lift kit? We got the passenger side all hooked up here. So it's not completely hooked up because we don't have the motors hooked up or anything like that. But we do have the power board on, so you can see how much farther that's going to drop down to allow people to step up into the Jeep. Now granted, my Jeep will be going up a little bit more once I get the wheels and tires again, but that is a nice height to just open the door, boom, and just step right up in there. Now we are going to install motor brain, which also installs underneath the Jeep, and once we have this installed, we can move on to wiring it into the Jeep. And when we wire with the pre-made harness, you guys will see that these harnesses are made and measured specifically for your application, and each application comes with LED lighting standard. So 4 motors, LED lighting standard. I spared you guys most of the wiring, but everything's labeled anyway, whether it goes to passenger rear, passenger front motor, driver or driver front motor, and then what gets run inside and what gets run to the battery is fairly obvious. And the directions are step by step, so everything works out perfectly. Now if you stand back here, you don't think anything has changed. It still looks like a rock slider across the bottom. It's a little bit thicker though. But when you get up and close, you can see ghosted there. Rolling big power. But when you step back, it kind of fades into the black, so I like that. And whether you go to grab the front door or the rear door, you can see they're nice and wide, and they come out far enough from the body of the Jeep that they're still usable. So you can see on the inside here, still have to button up the wiring. Obviously just kind of left it like this just to test these out, but what triggers it are door magnets. So you can see there's the sensor here, and here is the actual magnet that sticks onto your door. So when you close your door, you have a 4-second delay. But we are Jeepers and we always take our doors off, so how can we use it when we take our doors off? Well, it's a great question. They do include this switch here, the kill switch. So if you do take your doors off, you can see they fold it up. When I switch it back on, they come back down. So this switch can be handy in case you are, say, picking somebody up and you have their doors off or anything like that. You could just switch them on, have the person get in, and switch them right back off, and they're back and nice and tucked up. So it is nice to know that they didn't only think of all of the trucks that they're making this for, but also the Jeepers who take their doors off, because again, you could do the kill switch. So we are pretty much done here. All we have to do is button it all up, tighten it down, and actually I do have to install, almost forgot about the LED lights. Again, these come standard. These LEDs come standard with any Stealth Power running board. So whether you have a truck, a Jeep, these will come standard, which is really nice. You get 2 of these per side, just plug and play for these LEDs. So you just have to find a nice spot to mount these LEDs. They already have 3M on the back of them. So all you have to do is find a nice spot tucked up out of the way here, stick it on, and every time you open your door, the light will shine down. All right, and as you can see, we are back at home because I'm an idiot and forgot to pack an extra battery for filming this. These Stealth running boards are finally installed and they look killer. I like how they look like rock sliders. They aren't rock sliders, but as we speak, RBP is out in Moab at Easter Jeep Safari testing out all of their products that they will soon be releasing for the JL, including these power boards. So from what I can tell from the RBP posts out at Moab, they can take quite a beating and still function regularly. I didn't even give you guys the whole list. There's a huge list of why these running boards are amazing. Starting with the dual motors on each side, so you have power in the front and the back. Standard LED lights. The switches are run off of these magnets on the inside, which are like high-powered magnets. Comes with a kill switch, which I have mounted right there on my center console. So if you guys are ever doorless, you can switch them on and off as you need, which is absolutely awesome. Each of the 4 motors are IP68 rated, which means you can drive this thing into 3 feet of water and those motors are still rated to work. So that means if you guys live in like the horrible winter like states, kind of like Ohio, and you guys get the salt on the road and slush and it's just ugly, so no salt will be able to penetrate into the motor and ruin anything. So another cool safety feature is if you have like kids or anything and you're worried about say these closing in on them by any chance or anything like that, they actually have a built-in safety feature where if you shut the door, it actually takes just a little amount of pressure and you can see they actually stay down, so you don't have to worry about any kind of limbs, feet. If you're working underneath the Jeep, your arms getting pinched underneath there. And as the added bonus, if you have a roof rack, it makes it really easy to reach, so you just step on there, step on the wheel, and you have instant access to anything that is on your roof rack. So very smart engineering. And to reset it, all you have to do is pull it down, and then it'll reset itself once you shut the door again. So if you guys notice the wiring, the harness, again, completely labeled, tells you everything, where everything needs to go, super easy. But if you noticed, I didn't have to use the OBD2 port. And why is that important? So that means if you have to run a tuner, whether you're gonna run it on your Jeep or mostly on diesel trucks, you'll see it a lot, you don't have to get any kind of splitter. You can just use the OBD2 port. This wiring does not require you use the OBD2 sensor, which is absolutely awesome. Leaves that port open for diagnostics and if you wanted to run a tune. So the Stealth Power running boards also have a 5-year comprehensive warranty, so if there's a manufacturing defect on RBP side, they will send you a new part, you know, no problem. And the best part about that is if one of the motors goes out, you guys could see everything was individual. So if one of the motors goes out, all you have to do, unplug the motor, dismount it, and then send it back, and you'll get your new one and you'll plug it right back in. Super sturdy. I'm jumping up and down on them. They are rated for 600 pounds on each side, so that is a lot of weight. It'll easily be able to handle a driver and a passenger getting in both at the same time. So you guys can see how big that list is for these running boards, so that is why I decided I wanted to go with these specific running boards. 5-year warranty, no OBD2 plug-in, everything is plug and play, 4 motors, IP68 waterproof, 600 pound weight limit, safety feature, shut off switch from the factory, so that way when you take your doors off you can still use them to switch it on and off. And of course when they are up, they look almost identical to the factory rock sliders, so you lose that factory Rubicon look. So these RBP Stealth boards, there's just so many features packed into just the engineering of the power boards themselves. I mean, you guys saw everything that came in the package, the color pictures for the installation, how easy it was to run the wiring, and how simple these magnets work. I think they truly thought long and hard about pretty much everything that goes into making these power boards, because they wanted to do it right the first time. So I think it's pretty obvious why I went with the Stealth Power running boards. They're just loaded with features, and just they thought of everything when they were designing these. So that'll do it for me today. I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave some comments below. Let me know what you guys think. If there's anything that I missed, if you guys have any questions, leave a comment below. Leave this video a big thumbs up if you enjoyed the install, and we will catch you guys in the next one.